Northern Ireland does not have to rely on the Irish government or the European Union to prevent a return to borders of the past. The UK government will not let that happen. I will not let that happen. Northern Ireland does not have to rely on the Irish government or the European Union.
Our disagreement with the EU legal of Northern Ireland.
Derry, Londonderry, a city plagued in the second half of the 20th century by the Troubles. We had bombs, bullets and Bloody Sunday. A city that should have been decimated by the past. But we never give up. We pushed through the times of troubles and were promised peace in the Good Friday Agreement. We stood tall, a city of communities working together, where we could sing and dance together in the Fleadh, celebrate the UK City of Culture, build the Peace Bridge, host the Clipper Festival, and we've been hailed as the best Halloween destination in the world. Now our city, once again, is in crisis. Now, the uncertainty of Brexit has left us, the young people of the city, wondering,
what about us?
1 in 3 people across the UK have had their mental health affected by the uncertainty of Brexit. And every week, 5 people die in Northern Ireland from suicide. 68% of youth in Northern Ireland revealed they always or often feel stressed, and 60% said they always or often feel anxious. As anxiety rises in our youth about job prospects and the impact of Brexit on the access to education for students on the border, 3 years after the vote, we, the youth affected by Brexit, have to ask,
what about us?
While Prime Minister Boris Johnson believes crossing the border will be like crossing from Camden to Islington, we want to know how the mental health services along the border believe Brexit will be impacted.
I work with Hurt Have Your Tomorrows over on Clarence Street. We were set up in 2002 by the City O'Reilly after she lost her son, and we started as a support network for parents, but mainly we would deal with people with drugs and alcohol.
And is there a cross-border element to the work that you do?
We would see people from Donegal, we'd see people from, I know it's not cross-border, but Strabane and the surrounding areas. We've had people travel 60, 70 miles from Donegal to use the services.
I know for a voluntary organisation like yourself, funding is your lifeline and you're already under pressure to provide the services. Can you see future funding being in jeopardy as a result of Brexit?
We have received funding through Peace 4, which I think is funded by the EU. We receive funding from the south of Ireland as well. They are still unaware of how that's going to affect us in the north.
In your opinion, what impact might Brexit have on the provision of mental health services in the future?
We're like many organisations, and we just don't know what's going to happen with Brexit, but we will do our best to continue with the services we can provide to people. So at the minute we are prepared for Brexit the best we can. A few years ago we suffered a very severe knock with we lost up to 40% of our funding, and that made us have to cut back right in the organisation.
Johnny, what advice would you give to a young person suffering possibly from addiction or poor mental health? What would you tell them?
Honestly, say there's always hope, even when people look at it and think there's no hope with Brexit and stuff, but there is.
As our city faces one of the biggest constitutional changes in decades, our Parliament seems to disregard our border town and the Irish backstop as a more afterthought, a problem for another day. With no understanding of our long and troubled past, and without regard for the peace we have been able to nurture and blossom in the past 21 years, politicians of the UK, we have to ask, what about us?
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 What about us?